Hey, it's Brock here with Rock Hill Farms, and I've got a lot of bigger projects I'd like to be working on, but what needs to happen is this area down here needs cleaned up. I've got room in the Quonset hut now for the Model A, so we're gonna see if we can get that started and drive it up there. Hopefully that works without too much trouble. And then I've got a big mess back here with tractor attachments, the end walls for the Quonset hut, all these IBC totes, and who the heck knows what else buried in the weeds. I need to get this cleaned up so it's usable space. I've already had the battery charging for the last 24 hours on the tractor, and hopefully I can just put fuel in it and start it up. But we're about to find out. What do you think, buddy? Will it start?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes.
I guess so.
Here we go. So if you haven't been around these older tractors much, you might not know, but they're gravity feed on the fuel. So it doesn't work very well. If you don't shut the fuel off, that fuel will run down and just force its way through your system. Another thing is these were dual fuel, meaning that you could start it with gasoline, or you probably had to start it with gasoline, and then you ran it off of a larger tank that could be any kind of fuel, basically diesel or kerosene, or they call them all fuel. But on most of these, the smaller tank is disabled. You just run it off gasoline. So we'll turn our fuel back on and disconnect the battery charger and put just enough fuel on it for what we're doing. That was less than a half a gallon. All right, so now we need to take it out of gear. We have the emergency brakes locked in down here. And we've got throttle and a choke. So I'm just going to put it up close to this and see if it sparks. Oh yeah, it's definitely getting a spark. Then it's got these petcocks here. I've opened those up. Okay, now we've just put fuel in it. We know we're getting spark. We know the engine's turning fast. I've got a can of starting fluid. Just don't know where to spray it. I'm gonna pull the fuel bowl off, probably leak everything out. All right, after emptying the fuel bowl, this is filling back up. That smells nasty in there. Doesn't smell like gasoline. Put some fresh gas in the fuel bowl. Let's try choking it. Hey, it cranked for a second. We'll take the choke off. I'm calling myself out that this should not be allowed to get this dirty. Now, there's also, under this air filter, there's an internal air filter, which you want this one to stay clean. You can see it's got just a little bit on it, but not bad. And this boom is everything to a skid loader, so you definitely want to make sure it gets the grease every time it's supposed to. So I've been telling everyone that at some point my son's gonna run this business with my machines, but I guess at some point for that to happen, he'll have to learn how to run them. So we're gonna try that today. He's run the tractor a little bit here and there, but today he's gonna get a crash course on the skid loader. Starting with, some of the grease points require you to lift the boom. Okay, now your hydraulics are active. So first, all I want you to do is raise the boom. Your right joystick, pull it back towards you. Keep going, going. Good. That's just one grease zerk on each side. Go get the other one. So we spent a few minutes going over the way the controls work and general operational strategy and safety tips, and then I just let him go. I explained to him that the most common way is to shove the bottom tines under and then close the grapple, but also that you can do it like a claw machine like he's doing here and come down from above. He went really slow and cautious at first, but then he got the hang of it pretty well. And the reason I say that and sound a little uncertain is that I didn't stand there and watch him or overanalyze what he was doing. I figure it worked out all right because he didn't break anything and he didn't get hurt. So what I did was jump in the tractor and just start moving stuff that was in the way, starting with that stack of pallets, and then what you see me moving right now is the end wall kit for the Quonset hut. And that came in 2 sections. I'm coming back for the other section now. As I'm watching this now, I can tell my son was pretty slow to pick up any of this firewood, but it still was faster than if I was doing it myself. So I'm kind of embarrassed that I let this mess be here in the first place. I had the equipment shed that's just on the left side of the screen completely clean and organized, and then we had to convert that into storage space for the manufacturing we do up on the hill, and that left me with no room to put my tractor attachments inside the building. So I started stacking them out here. And then we moved the wood yard over here, and all that was fine in the winter because I had a rock layer put down and I had all this stuff setting on that rock. But once spring came and it grew through the thin layer of rock I put down, then we had a mess. And I also drug a bunch of pipe from a corral and left that laying in this area. And once the grass gets tall enough, you can't even see what's in there anymore. And then you've really got a problem. So right now I'm hauling off a bunch of these IBC totes that we use for firewood. And I'll have to get those cut down so we can start getting our firewood done for the year. You might have noticed some smoke on the top of the screen. And you guessed it, I'm back to burning that same stump. It's probably burnt down low enough that I can just cover the hole over now, but there's some junk wood in this cleanup area, so I figured we might as well continue burning it for another day. I tell you what, I never would have believed how long we could spend
on one stump by burning it out. This thing has drug on forever.
Well, I felt like my son did all right with that. He wasn't getting maybe a full load per trip, but I mean, he moved a lot of wood, and he didn't try to quit on me after half an hour. He actually had a baseball game. He umpires baseball, so he's on his way to that. And I'm gonna see if I can get enough of this cleared that I can actually mow back some of this brush and clearly define where we're at. I got kind of a late start, so it's like 6 p.m. right now. But you see, that's where he was working over there, and all of that is cleared out pretty well. Then I pulled all of this stuff out of here and this bigger stuff out of here. Now I'm gonna try to drag all this pipe out that way so I can deal with it separately. And then we're gonna be pretty close to the point of mowing this. Probably put the brush cutter on the skid loader before I'm done.
So around the area the skid steer is right now, there was a large corral with metal pipe fence, and there was also some barbed wire fence that ran from that to the end of the property. I took all that out and opened this area up, and I neatly disposed of the barbed wire, actually gave it away, and then I left this pipe fence just laying out in the middle of a field where it was a hazard. So now I get to clean that up.
right, so right here is where the Model A was sitting at the start of the day. And I still have a few messes to clean up of things I moved out of here and still have to deal with later. But this has been on my to-do list for a while to get this cleared. And I'm gonna widen it. I'm gonna bring rock down another 30, 40 feet at least. It's a good feeling to get something done. I appreciate you taking time to watch the video. I'll put links on the screen to a couple more of our videos, and I'll see you next time.